Oops, sorry about that. Um, this is a new journal I made for the spring swap, and it is 8.5. Well, it's probably about 8.5 by 5.5 or 9 with the cover, the pages. This is a little bit larger journal. I decided to go a little bit larger because I just didn't want to leave bits and pieces of paper. So it's a little bit, I usually like to have 5 by 7 pages. These are 8.5 by 5.5, so the cover just a little bit larger to fit it. It's 2 signatures. And the cover is covered by a paper bag that was given to me by my friend Merlene, and I just loved it because of the colors, the hummingbirds, the butterflies. The spine is covered by some pink lace I received years ago in a swap, and here on the spine you can see 5 buttons. The closure is some ribbon, and I just made it just this happy colors. Happy colors because it's spring. It's very plain, and I did think originally to have some little plates like that, but guess what? The hummingbird is covered. So I decided that would probably be an appropriate place, but I'm gonna just send this with the new owner, and she can decide if she wants to leave it plain. Put a little plate right there. I guess that would work. But you can see how that hummingbird just works. So this was just, like I said, I kept it plain because the paper does all the talking. Ribbon closure. And when you look at this is one of those, I love to make those business reply envelopes. You know how I would get that as junk mail? Well, I make them into pockets, double pockets. And here's the large tag, and this is actually from a greeting card. In this journal, you'll see I use a lot of greeting cards, and I have found the greeting. You know how it has, you can see that little shine. You can get some fine grain sandpaper, sand off the sentiment, and no one would know it was there. And so the large card goes into this pocket, which of course I need 2 hands, and then I usually add 2 smaller ones there, and there we go. So this is a wonderful way of using scrap paper, you know, the bits and pieces left over, and junk mail. This first page, I originally thought this is napkin decoupage. It was going to be a belly band, but I decided to add some lace down here. Let's see if you can see it. It stays in. See this lace right there? It becomes a pocket to kind of catch it, so it looks like a belly band. And this paper here, you're going to see how I use the remaining scraps of it throughout the journal. Not throughout, but enough. So this is a graphic 45 stamp that I love to use for spring. I will stamp half a dozen. I use them very quickly. This is just a journaling card made of wrapping paper, a punch, and this is actually the, the cover of a, or the back portion of a greeting card. So the butterfly came with this, and this is the back of the card. And like I said, you can use all parts of the card. And this is just some leftover scrap paper, and all 3 of these tags go into this belly band pocket, and there you can see it's a very pretty page. It's trimmed with ribbon. I did some stamping. These butterflies came from Artie Mays. This is some stationery from my friend Janie. She goes thrift store hunting, and she always shares her finds. And I did some stamping. This is, you're going to see the page, and I'm just getting rid of leftover strips. You know how when you cut your pages and you have 1-inch strips? I just added it there. This is a book page of wildflowers that I just love to add into all of my journals. And on this, I use a graphic 45 stamp down here at the bottom, and I napkin decoupaged and of course punched, and that makes such a difference on this page. It looks very decorated, but yet very simple. On the other side, you can see the stamping and the punching. And this is another greeting card. I didn't count, I can't remember, but you're going to see quite a few cards being used here. Because it's spring and I like the bunny, the greeting up here has been covered with some border paper that's been in my stash and some book page, and then this flower, and it just kind of works there. And it's camouflage. And this is the other side of the card, and I just left it plain. This little strip comes from the front page, and besides tying the designs together, wonderful way of getting rid of all these little bits and pieces. Some little bunnies were decoupaged onto this, and this is an Artie Mays free printable, and just another little bit left right there. So it's a little pocket with lace trimmed, and on the other side I did some stamping. I believe this is a blue fern stamp, and this is just a stamp I bought, I think, at Hobby Lobby. This is a lunch bag, which I napkin decoupage, so it's a little bit translucent. And inside of this is another card. This is where, you use the cards, and this is actually a die cut, and I didn't worry about that bit of the sentiment, but you can position your die cuts and still get that. And I left the greeting, wishing you a day that blends all joys of the moment with hopes and dreams of tomorrow. So I thought that greeting would be appropriate. I didn't think it was, it didn't pigeonhole it into any special time. So there it goes into there. And on the back, you can see, I guess I could have put the tag, you could probably see it. Oh, well, of course, when you're trying to do it on long, and you can kind of, if you wanted a little bit more blue, it's up to, to the new owner. Just a little bit of doily, left it blank. And this is some paper. I took apart a journal, and so you can, oh no, I think it was some stationery. I don't know how I did it. And it says notes, and this is napkin decoupage and an Artie Mays. Like I said, she has a file with just full of butterflies, so I did a lot of fussy cutting, and it just adds a lot to this page. On this side, I guess because it was 2 pages, this is the hinge right here. It is a punch. This is a stamp that I was given, and these 2 little tags kind of go into this because it's a little tuck spot right behind the heart that says thank you. This is a beautiful doily that I was given. Can't remember who gave it to me. And this is a pocket made from a memo pad. My friend Janie, she brought some of these pages and showed us this is one of her ideas. And what I did was I glued it onto some paper, not necessarily cardstock, but a little bit thicker to give it a little bit of body. And you can see this is the large tag that goes way in the back here. And then I added some, let me see, I added a little piece of paper and did a punch. I think I glued it because it has a little bit of body there because of, this punch, it can be kind of fragile. And here are 2 tags that will go inside of it. And you notice you can also journal right here and on the back. Music paper. This is a belly band, and it is a greeting, it's a playing card. I have found these really fun playing cards, so I just lined it with a little bit of punch. And again, those 1-inch strips, you can use them all over the place. Leftover piece of paper, and it became a tag along with some punching right there on the side. And so it makes it really a very pretty spring page. This is the center of the signature. There are 2 signatures, and I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The reason I'm telling you the number of pages is, you know, and I'm going to kind of say, you notice this journal doesn't have that overstuffed look. It's about 1.75 inch spine. And I have found, because by the time you finish adding pockets and tags, they really expand. So 10 pages per signature. And you can do all your embellishments without any problems. This is again leftover page, a giant tag. And this is another greeting card, and it says just a note, so all I did was put it like this for added journaling. It's a pocket, you just put hinges. There's a doily to add some decoration, a little piece of paper that I punched down at the bottom, and it is a very pretty page. And again, over on this side, strip of paper that left over right there. This flower is part of an envelope. You know, when these cards, and you get them a lot from charities, they have beautiful envelopes. So what I did was I think I glued it onto some cardstock because envelope paper is very thin. And you can see I fussy cut around here. This is part of the decoration. This is a Tim Hortons die that I just love, this lace look, and it became a pocket. This is also another greeting card. You know, when you go to the thrift stores, I always look for cards, and even you can see how it's a pocket, and yet it creates a very pretty scene. You can lift it up just a little bit, and it's just a very pretty scene. Made, I don't know if you call it collaging or what, but I just thought it was really very pretty. There are my dogs. They do have to bark on the video. Okay, so a lot of my pockets, you know, I went into my stash, and this is even my napkins have a stash. So this is the napkins, I decoupage, then I put the pocket, and I have again tag. You can see the napkin, and it just kind of fits in to create a, you know, little scene there. See the napkin, the stamping, again some more napkin. This is just a little strip of paper down here. I do like that because I think it gives the pages some definition. This is a doily, and what I did to get so much of the doily, instead of folding it in half, I hinged it, as you can see, over here to the bag. I think I did something like that, so because I wanted more of the doily to show. I received it in a swap, and it's been sprayed, and right here I stamped along with this paper. And on this side, the pocket is napkin decoupaged. This is just, you know, papers that were floating around my stash, and here is a tag. So there's a little bit of collaging there. I didn't put a little strip up here, but you can see how the strips add definition to pages. As you can see, this one, I was cutting some burlap. What a difference that makes, and this is just a stamp. One of my favorites, the blue fern stamp. Right here, this is a really pretty page. Napkin decoupage is a tuck spot. This is Tsunami Rose, a little printable that was floating around. And this is the tag that goes with it, and this just leftover napkin, leftover paper, and all together. And this actually is not a belly band. Oops, it's a little bit still. This is the paper right there, so you can do some journaling, and the tag is supposed to fit, and you can just kind of tuck in the butterfly like that. So it's actually a pretty, you know, detailed page, even though it may not look like it. This is the back part of that rabbit greeting card, and I just covered the sentiment with some notebook paper. This is again just leftover paper, the Tim Holtz die. This is some napkin and some stamping and some punching. And again, you see the book page, And on this book page, I decided instead of just leaving the print, this is a card. And I cut the greeting out right here, but because I also knew it would work. And when you open it, I left the sentiment, wishing you a wonderful day. And I think I forgot to add, there is a pocket there, and I'm going to have to put something there to show the owner that there is a pocket. That I knew there was something I had to add. Stationery, napkin, Tim Holtz. That Tim Holtz dye just makes it look such a beautiful page to accompany the stamping and the lace. And this is the end of the first signature. This is a greeting card, and I fussy cut it, and doesn't look really pretty right there. It goes with the paper. This is a memo pad with a mason jar, and that's one of my favorite pages. So it's greeting card, note paper, a little bit of lace down here at the bottom. So this is the beginning of the second signature, and I just love this paper, so I just left it by itself, and I don't think there's anything wrong with just leaving paper and just enjoying the design. Here's some lace, some napkin, here's some more stationery, napkin, and live life in full bloom. And this, it's actually a hinge, but it's a tuck spot. And I'm going to tell you something really funny about this page right here. You're going to see it. You see the little hummingbird? Well, the stamp when I stamped it, didn't come out really good. It messed up. So what do? I put some napkin on there and nobody would know it's a camouflaging a mistake, because the flowers and the hummingbirds, they kind of go together there. And again, this is also a little tuck spot right here. And this is part of an envelope. You see, this is the, remember that one I fussy cut? Well, this is the other side of the envelope, one side was the front, one was the back. Anyway, this is some napkin that was just floating around in my stash. This is a tag that I just kind of put some pattern, and I think I had done some stamping, and then I just added a butterfly because I thought it looked kind of dark. And there it goes. And this is the back part of the envelope, so you can use everything. My friend Janie gave me this memo pad that's just beautiful. It's butterflies. So let me just take all the tags out so that you can see it. Oh, I haven't taken this out in a while. You know how you get something, well, I'll take it off later. It's been there. In any case, this is and you kind of fold it and cut a slit, and so you can journal right there. And again, napkin tag, and another little die cut tag. And I will have to work on getting that out. I know it's just, there it goes. And this is from some gift wrap that's been in my stash, leftover paper there, so that I just punched, and it goes right there. And it was just probably I put it in too early, so there it goes. And again, one of those flip pockets that will flip down, or not. Let's see. Yep, it's one of those flip. Gosh, oh man, do I have glue sticking all over the place. No wonder it was staying so nice. And this is leftover book page. You can see the book page. You know how sometimes you have a whole half a page left? And here is just a leftover frame that I had. And this is Napkin Decoupage. Another one of my favorite books is this gardening book here. And a lot of the pictures are with blue. So I just did some light gessoing. Yes, this has been gessoed, and you can write on it, and it just looks really a nice page. You can enjoy the illustrations. Same up here. You can see it's a gardening book for spring, lightly gessoed. This is this memo pad that with a pocket. This is also one of those sticky notes that I just glued on some leftover cardstock, and it goes there. Back here is a bookmark just to show that there is a large, you can put a large tag there. Napkin decoupage there. At the bottom you can see that little paper, and I just add them for, it just kind of finishes your pages, so you can save that. This is a die cut, and I just kind of had leftover, I had some circles because I was cutting some CD covers, and I just saved them and I just put it right there. It's like a little pocket, not really too obstructive with the birds right there. So it's just kind of a fun little tag. Left it plain on purpose. Leftover tissue paper, I think Tim Holtz tissue paper. Somebody gave me a little bit, and this little corner had been floating around. So there it goes. This is also a napkin and some stickers. You can see these shiny little stickers. This is a wonderful page for the new owner to do whatever they want with it. I have punched it with a Martha Stewart punch and left it for her to do what she wants with it. The center of it, and this is also another card, and what I did, I think I cut the sentiment, and then I did some punching on the front side, just the front, you can see right up there. So just to add a little bit of interest. I think I must have sanded it, because you see that white right here? Yes, I sanded the sentiment, and it had this white streak there. So I punched it, and you can see it looks kind of nice there. Let me see if I can show you there. Can you see that little white? That's sanding. And you open it up, and there was no greeting on there. And then on this back right here, I saw, this is kind of a cool thing I saw on YouTube. There was a square and there was a sentiment, so I cut it out. It is now a pocket for something to go in there. Something that if you have a really pretty illustration, it will go in there. I will look through my greeting cards and see, put something there. Or you can just do that. So this is also another greeting card, a greeting card on top of another greeting card. So you can, like I said, people give me cards and I just, you have to use them up, don't you? And speaking of cards, here's another one. And you can see I kept the greeting because I thought it was kind of fun, or kind of sweet. I am honored by your kindness and generosity. And what I did here, you notice there's this is where I did the sanding. And I punched it afterwards just to add, you know, it kind of takes away from the sanding, like it was done on purpose. So it was sanded, it was punched, and then I trimmed it because it was wider. And then I put hinges on the back so it makes a pocket. And this comes from a memo, these flowers, and again my friend Janie, and it goes right there, and it's really a very pretty page. And here again, napkin with those stickers, and again this is from my napkin, you know, bits and pieces. And this is just, I think these are fun for the owners to go and do with, add their personality to it. So again, some napkins, bits and pieces. This is just a bit right down here, but it adds a lot to the page. So don't throw away those little pieces. I know they're a pain. I just put them in a Ziploc bag. This is one of my favorite pages. Very simple, very peaceful. This is the flap of an envelope, one of those envelopes. And did I, no? Oh, I guess I glued a book page or some kind of page to it. So it's not super thick, but it still has more body than, so this is the flap of the envelope. And I did some punching, so it's a page there. And again, this is the leftover from that first page, the memo, and you see all of that goes. This is what I love about junk journaling. things that we were getting ready to just use, throw away, and you can make something beautiful from them. The book pages, this is also a playing card that I made into an embellished envelope, and this is a Sizzix die. It's supposed to be a bee, looks really predatory. Hopefully it's not those hornets that are invading our, but anyway, and it's an embellished paper clip. And the reason I needed one is I believe I did something with this page here, and this is what keeps it together. So let me take this off. You can see greeting card, playing card right there. And when you take this off, it opens up right here. It's like a little booklet there with some stamping so that you can do some journaling. This was given to me in a swap book page, so it just gets tucked in. There's also a tuck there. You can then go ahead, just go and put the paper clip wherever you wish, because it will work either that way, or you can do it sideways because of the bee. I just chose to put it up there just because, and then you could do whatever you could put some paper underneath it. This is the other part of an envelope right here, and this is the bunny is napkin decoupage. Here's the tag, and this is just leftover bits and pieces of paper, punch, butterfly. It all goes together, and it is a pocket right there. And again, the page was left blank on purpose. Okay, this is the stamp. Remember the one I camouflaged with flowers? This is the stamp. I think it's just such a fun one for spring journals. So my poor little mice didn't come out good on the other page, so I had a napkin decoupage them, but this time I got it right, and so there they go on there. And more stamping right here, graphic 45. You can see because it was two pieces of stationery. This is the hinge. It's also a tuck. Talked about this page, napkin decoupage, and we come to the end, and I left. And you see the doily. So right here, again, you see the junk mail. I made a whole bunch of these. So you see the daffodils. And one of the things I did to kind of soften this paper is I gessoed it so it looks a little bit softer. Now the color is real bright. So I've been watching Artie Mae's videos, and she uses her gessos. And here is again another card. This is a card, and this is us. I think I found that, I don't know where I found it. And I thought this would be really nice for spring. It is a greeting card, and it goes in here, and come on, they really go in really well until you're, and you can see how you can kind of see the little boy in the, and then once you put your tags in, you could just leave it like that, but I like them as a surprise. So again, this is a spring journal. I really like it. 2 signatures. It's very chunky, even though, and I think it's about 10 pages, folded pages, and for each signature, and after all the embellishments and the tags, it is a I think it closes really well. It's not like that overstuffed look. And this is made from I think a cake mix, some kind of a package that I had been saving like forever. So the cover, it is basically soft, but it still has some, stiffness to it, but not over stiff. So again, this is one of my spring journals. I've been making a lot of the spring journals just because it's cheerful in this time. And So again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you again.